Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities there may be for today. You're going to see my analysis and my strategy, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Starting off on a daily, as always, on the top is EU, on the bottom is DXY. So what do we have on the daily? We can see yesterday we closed out as this high test candle. Right, bullish high test, but high test candle. You can see we took buy side liquidity from this previous weekly high, and that ultimately sent price downwards to close near the open. And inversely on DXY, you can see we had this low test candle after taking the previous weekly low. That shows major deceleration after this bullish previous days on Wednesday and Tuesday. So after, it looks like we've taken enough buy side liquidity to have killed off that momentum yesterday, and it was a Thursday. We could possibly get a continuation of bearish price action because we've now taken all of that buy side liquidity and left behind such an imbalance on the previous day. So yeah, to me that's what the daily tells us. After such a big momentum move, you're usually due some sort of pullback to a discount or a premium to fill those imbalances anyway. So let's go down to the 4 hour and see what the intraday's pictures are showing. So now on the 4 hour, I forgot to mention on the daily, you can see we've got our previous daily highs and lows. We've already gone through our previous daily low and closed beyond it with that 4 hour bearish candle. Same on DXY, of course. 4 hour bullish candle has broken through previous daily highs coming from this liquidity area. We took our previous weekly high. We've taken just a previous high here also, which you can see with this small X there. And price was immediately bearish from that point on, closing out yesterday into today. We also slightly mitigated this imbalance here. Now I've still got this sign here for price draw because we do have an order block and we still have some imbalance left there to fill. If we go on to DXY, we still have some imbalances below price, but we did take sell side liquidity from these lows here as well. So we're good probably for a pullback, and we have the same imbalances which may draw price down to more of a discount, at least before we may get a continued bullish run or bearish run on DXY. So we don't know, but we have some draws on price, and for me this is painting probably a bearish bias because of all the high time frame buy side liquidity we've taken, and we have sell side liquidity imbalances to fill in a discount. Again, obviously the negative would be that price wants to come up and mitigate these first. Other than that, on the 4 hour, it's a bit of a tricky structure because we did close above this high here, which I believe to be the leg, but we've taken a buy side liquidity, so this can be more of a pullback or a trend continuation. But we don't really care as day traders. We just need the liquidity on side in order for us to execute and just follow a bias for the day. So let's go down to the hourly and see what that shows us. So on the hourly, a bit more clearly, you can see we've had this bullish run, closed above these highs, but you can also see the previous weekly high and that X that I lined out where we've taken that liquidity and we sort of filled some little imbalance up here. We broke down from there, so it does look like pullback territory. We have our higher time frame imbalance draw on price down here, and if I zoom in slightly, we can see immediately we have this 1 hour order block that we're entering now. There was some momentum during Asia that obviously caused another small leg down internally. Above that we have these imbalances, so those are a negative. If we are shorting from here, price may want to go back further, but either way we wait for structure, right? So we're in a premium, clearly. We have a 1 hour POY here that we need to see what price is going to do with. Inversely, on DXY, we also have this same 1 hour POY, and we got to see what's going to happen there. You can see on DXY where we rejected from, we had our 1 hour order block, we swept it, but we also closed out within it. So I've left the order block there. So we've got a lot of sell side liquidity there, and we've pulled back to a good area in the morning here with a possible further pullback to a premium POI, maybe to continue this trend lower. But this is the first one we have to deal with and we're going to look into. On the hourly as well, you can see we took and liquidated, mitigated all of this buy side liquidity, which is a lot. So I think we are in our rights to believe, okay, we've taken a lot of buy side liquidity. I would expect some sort of bearish momentum from there. We did get that, but I think we could continue that. Again, we have that same draw on price here on DXY with order block and imbalance that price could aim for once mitigating this 1 hour POY. And I think that's a good target and a nice bias and confluence on our side in order to go short on EU. Let's go down to the M15 and see what opportunities may be available immediately for today. So I've already drawn out an opportunity that I see this morning on the M15. Now this is the first opportunity I see, not necessarily one that I would usually execute. However, we have a clear 15-minute break of structure and leg, right? We've got that low here. This is a break of structure. We swept internal buy side liquidity before that breakdown. So we've got a clear sweep, breakdown here, and then we've got our pullback into London Open. Now the negatives would be Frankfurt swept Asia lows. Usually when Frankfurt or London sweep Asia lows, we will head towards the other side. I think it's about 70% of the time and sweep it. So there is the danger here of sweeping this high. However, we also have a 1 hour order block and 15-minute order block POI at this area. So it's a decent confluence to continue with the order flow, because the order flow overnight has been bearish. Asia's been bearish so far, and we've pulled back to a higher time frame POI and an M15 POI to continue that order flow lower, right? We've got a 1 hour order block also on DXY, which has been slightly mitigated here. There's potential for it to pull back a bit further to its M15 order block, but I think that's a good enough confluence as well. Currently price is at that area where you would have entered if you was seeing this opportunity. Okay, so we've got breaker structure down, negative of this sell side liquidity been swept, and we've also got a more premium imbalances and order blocks on a higher time frame. But we are in a premium of price, and we have got our 15-minute leg, and we've got our buy side liquidity sweep, and we've got our higher time frame POI. So that's the first opportunity. Now for shorts, which is what I'm favoring, of course, like I said, this sweep here could usually result in a sweep above here. So that can happen. If you don't get in on, say, this opportunity immediately, you can wait for this opportunity to play out and give you the break of structure here. So what we could see here is this 1 hour order block hold, break of structure over here, and then we get a pullback to a POI to continue downwards to fill this higher time frame imbalance here. So we would have an order block left behind here, respecting the order flow and the POI. So the POI would have been respected, so it's like an order flow trade, not just liquidity swept, even though liquidity internally has been swept here. We would have our break of structure there. We would have our inducement around here from the pullback, and we would have our possible lower time frame order block here to enter from, and our order would be here around this area with our stops above the high, and we would just aim for, I don't know, the recent low for 3%, usually what I aim for, or beyond that to fill the imbalance. Now this same move again could happen up here once we've swept the highs of Asia. So I'll draw that one out as well. So if price were to continue up here, create structure, maybe sweep its structure, it's also coming into an M15 order block, which is kind of randomly in the middle of the leg, but this could also be inducement here. I wouldn't want to enter straight off that, but this could be inducement for this order block to go down. Okay, so we sweep our internal buy side liquidity, break structure, pull back and break down. That would look like this. We'd have our X here for our buy side liquidity. We would have our break of structure here. We would have our lower time frame order block up here to enter from. We would have our inducement here from the pullback, and we would set our order like that and just you know, aim for Asia lows, wherever we want to aim for, and it would look something like this. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be that close to price action, but that's what I'd look for. So obviously I'm favoring shorts. I believe there's more room to go to fill these imbalances as we are in a premium. I don't see any longs at the moment. Of course, we've swept sell side liquidity here, but this structure is still intact. So I still see us going lower on EU. So I hope you found that valuable and enjoyed it. If there's any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.